Hello, I'm Karen from A Little Kinder, and I wanted to do kind of my version of an unboxing. And so I've already taken all of my product out of the box for the brand new 2021 Stampin' Up! Catalog. And I've put together some samples and we're going to make a card together. But I don't know. There was something about just looking at a box and pulling things out randomly. I mean, yes, you get my absolute gut reaction to it, but you're also going to get that here as I'm being honest with you, and at least I can answer questions or make comments rather than guessing, which is what I would be doing if I had a box. So today's unboxing video is going to be the Forever Fern stamp set. Now we have a brand new catalog, yay! And mine just got here in the mail, yay! And it looks like this. Ooh, ah, but I can't show you the inside. Not yet. Not until June. But this is what it looks like. And then this is the brand new beginning catalog. And oh my gosh, there's a set in there that I cannot wait to get my hands on. But today we're going to be working with this set. And this is the Forever Fern set. And when you get your catalog, you'll find it on page 110 in your catalog. And there it's called Forever Greenery. So the set is Forever Fern. The whole thing together is Forever Greenery. And this really was one of the few things in the pre-order that like caught my eye and screamed at me. So I wanted to share that with you today. So we have the stamps. And these are really, really beautiful and delicate. And I really have enjoyed the little bit of playing I've done with them. You get the dies. And so I've added my label to it. And so there are the dies. Not 100% sure what that is. I don't have a green thumb. I have a black thumb. I tend to kill everything we try to grow. With the exception, we have a gardenia bush that we planted right after we got married that's on one corner of our house, and I guess it just is loving life where it is because it's not going away. And I mean, I've cut it back again, don't have a green thumb, cut it back and it's grown back, and cut it back and it's grown back. These are the ribbons that are in the Forever Greenery trim combo pack. So this is a gold metallic thread. I've already used almost most of it. This is gorgeous. I'm going to have more of this. And then it also comes with this ribbon. And this ribbon is a little bit unique to me. Y'all, it almost feels like gauze or cheesecloth. It's super, super, super thin. And doesn't have a whole lot of sizing in it either. So it's going to make beautiful bows. Now here I am trying to make a bow on camera, and we all know how well that's going to go, right? It's not. So you can see it, well, even with me trying to tie on camera, it's making a super easy, gorgeous bow. So there that is. And we'll leave that because we're going to need it in a minute for the card that we're going to make here at the end. So it comes with some Stampin' Cut embossing folders. And these kind of caught my eye for two reasons. One, fabulous, and one I was kind of frustrated with. I've never really liked the narrow dies like this. I mean, I haven't. I don't know. I haven't. I prefer the full sized. Well, you may have already heard we are getting brand new embossing machines, die cut and embossing machines. And I don't even know the name of them yet. I know that there's going to be a full-sized one and then one that's mini that these dies fit. So in the catalog, there will be a logo that says mini that will show what dies will and won't work. So pretty much this is the width of the new die cutting machine, of the mini, not the full size. The mini will be this wide. So any die that's wider won't fit. So some of the things that I use regularly, the stitch shapes, some of the larger ones will not fit in the mini. So this is one of the embossing folders. I've labeled them so that when I find them, I know what I'm dealing with. So I've called one Greenery A and one Greenery B, but the official name is just the Greenery embossing folders. So this is really neat. the pattern looks kind of like leaves going all the way down. Or I've heard some people refer to it as a stitch. So like a cable stitch or a knitting stitch. And then this one is the one that really kind of drew me to this set. And I hope you can see this. Let me throw a piece of Pear Pizzazz between here and let you see. Hopefully you can see it a little bit better. So here you've got along either edge. Can you see that? Yeah. You've got this beautiful greenery piece, but it's hollow or empty in the middle there. So I copied a sample out of the catalog. I mean, straight piece for piece. And this is the sample that I did. And here's the embossing folder. And you can see I came all the way over to the edge. So it's not very wide. It's about the size of a note card. But I wanted a full-size card. I didn't want a note card. So I just took, this is the new Jade, Just Jade. We have to learn these new colors. This is the brand new Just Jade. And so all I did was expand that out to fit a full card. Put this beautiful gold trim on there. Y'all, it unravels and it's so cool. Now, I will tell you that after tying 952 billion bows out of this, because this card is, I'm in a case the catalog swap. So after tying all these bows, it and I were not friends, but I'm loving this because it reminds me of the metallic thread that's retiring. And I was bummed. I love me some metallic thread. So this is going to replace that for me, which is why I'm going to have lots and lots and lots of it. So there's part of it. So one of the things that I found very interesting is that in the designer series paper, the die cuts will cut out some of the leaves. And that was fantastic because then you get the watercolor look that's on the paper without you going through it. There are a couple other embellishments. There's some of these woodsy pieces and some little dottish kind of pieces and crosses. And I'm going to be real honest. I don't have a clue what to do with these. I struggle with gems. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with wood pieces, but we'll figure it out. And then we have these. And these intrigued me. These are gold hoops. Now, the thing that's kind of cool, I mean, it's a full gold hoop. I can't pull it apart. So my first thought was, what the heck am I going to do with that? And then I thought, well, we could do some wreaths, but you wouldn't want to do a full wreath because that would like cover up the gold. And then why would you want that? Why wouldn't you just build it on a piece of paper? And then I started seeing what some other demonstrators were doing with it. And everything from like putting a die cut circle into the middle. So here's a 2 1/4 inch die cut circle. So layering it on top of that. So you get just the least little bit, I hope you can see it, just sitting there. You've got this teeny tiny edge of paper. So it gives this fabulous edging to any paper. I've seen some people turn them into dream catchers and do all kinds of really cool and crazy things. So I am kind of intrigued and looking forward to looking at those. They do come 10 in a package, so that's kind of neat. They'll give me some to play with. If you have any ideas on what to do with the wood elements, shout at me, because I'm kind of stuck. I mean, I guess I can see, you know, layering them in behind pieces on a card, but I don't know. I guess I haven't embraced the wood yet. So if you have any ideas, hit me up. I mean, I would appreciate the tips. So there's, whoops, that almost was a mess. So there are those. Now let me show you the paper, because this is what drew my attention. Now, because I've used all of it, I don't have 12 by 12 sheets of all of it to be able to show you side A and side B together. So this is one of the die cuts. We'll cut this leaf out. You have to kind of figure out which one it is in the set. When I was doing this card as a swap, I decided to fussy cut these and then piece the leaves rather than trying to find the one that matched the die. And then here is side B, which is gorgeous too. There's side A and side B. And this kind of reminds me of the embossing folder here, but it's not exactly that. this one is more organic and this one is more regular. So that's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to playing with the, what I'm calling Greenery A, because I really liked Greenery B. Again, the size is what kind of bums me out about it, but not so much so that I'm like, ugh, well, now I can't use it because I'm bummed. I'm actually pretty excited about what that's going to bring. Alrighty, throwing those on the floor. I'm going to need that in a minute. I'm going to throw that on the floor. All right, trying to clear some space. I ought to do a video of my Stampin' corner, because it's literally a corner of our bedroom, and I have Stampin' stuff all over the house. So this is side A of this paper, and there's, whoops, that was A. This is B. Got to stay focused. This is A. Again, the dies fit, so you can die cut that one. And then here's the stamped image. So if you wanted to stamp it yourself or use their art, and they're fabulous artistes. So A, B, look at how fun that is. Here we go again. A, and both of these dies. So you have two different stamps that match this leaf. And there they are. And there's B. And here's A. And there's B. Look at that. The beautiful watercolored lines. Now, what's really neat about this paper I found was the color scheme. So it's greens and the blue greens and some of the more yellow greens. The colors that are in here are going to be your garden green. It's going to be Just Jade, which is the new one. And I couldn't pick these. I think this stripe may be Just Jade. I haven't studied this enough. I think these may be garden green. So garden green, Just Jade, Pear Pizzazz. Ooh, that could also be Pear Pizzazz, because Pear Pizzazz is pretty light. Pear Pizzazz, Pretty Peacock, which is going to be this really gorgeous kind of blue-green here. Shaded Spruce, Soft Seafoam. So Shaded Spruce is going to be really dark, and Soft Seafoam is going to be really light. So you've got this wide variety of lights to darks. I don't have the Just Jade stamp pad. The In Color inks did not get ready for pre-order, which is fine. I'm excited to have all of the amazing things I have. So this is side A, and that's side B. I kind of love this. This one, I kind of feel like will go with that set that's in the catalog. That's the oopsies. You know, the giraffe has the knot in her neck and the turtle's upside down. I kind of feel like this might be fun with that turtle. I may have to pull him out. So real quick before we run out of time, this is the card that we're going to make. And I used 1-inch strips of 5 of the different papers. So I left one out. Then I did a 1-inch strip, and I ran it through a new one of our embossing folders, not the ones that I just showed you. This one is called Tasteful Texture. And it, to me, kind of looks like maybe denim or canvas, maybe even watercolor paper. And so I ran it through there to get that texture. And then I didn't like it. It was a little too much. It wasn't subtle enough. Like we have this subtle embossing folder that's subtle. You almost can't see it. This one was almost too much for me. And so I took my bone folder, it's my bone folder, and laid my tag piece down and just rubbed it. And so it kind of took out some of that. So I get a little bit of the texture. Let's see if you can see it. I don't know if I can get close enough that you can. Yeah, maybe. So you get a little bit of the texture, but not like it was. It really was kind of overpowering, and you lost the dots and the other things. So real quick, let's start putting this card together. And let me move a few things out of the way. So wherever you're watching this, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube, if you...
My apologies.
If you... Hello. My phone decided to I mean, my watch decided to talk to me. If you decide that you like this video, please give me a thumbs up or hit the subscribe button. I am all over the internet. I have an Insta account. I have a blog, all under the name A Little Kinder. So it's A Little Kinder. So here we go. So what I did was I cut a piece of basic black into 4 inches by 5 1/4. My strips are going to be 1 inch by 3 7/8, I think is what it came to. I kind of had to trim just a hair to make it work, to get things to cooperate completely. I did this circle die is out of the Painted Poppies, not posies, Painted Poppies Suite. I love this die. We had some that were swirly that retired. And then this is one of the Fern Leaves out of our Fern set. Oh, and you know what I'm realizing I don't have is a piece of white to do my message on. So either I cleaned it up or I've hidden it from myself, which is entirely possible. I was trying to clean up before I started this because I was super nervous. All right, so let's grab some adhesive. I don't know if you've heard, but Snail is going away and we are getting a brand new adhesive in its place. We're supposed to have 2 different strengths of adhesive. So that kind of makes me excited because Snail doesn't hold 3D projects as well. And so you need tear and tape for that. And tear and tape is not forgiving at all. We used to have a product called Fast Fuse that I really liked. It was strong like tear and tape, but not so, I don't know, not so aggressive. Like maybe there was just a hair of give. Now, oops, that's crooked. I'm trying to leave just the tiniest little space between my 2 pieces. When I was picking my papers, I decided that I wanted to do the B sides of most of them because it was kind of a tone-on-tone look. But to break that up, I wanted to have something that had Whisper White. So I picked 2 of the patterns that had Whisper White and stuck them in the middle. So I've got 5, so it's an odd number. So 3 or more of a solid color, and then the 2 with the white background. And then this was just a building process. I really like this style of card, especially if you're one that likes to chop up your paper when you get it so that it's in card front sizes. I do that a lot too. There's this whole movement called Kylie's Love It, Chop It. And I love it, chop it. I find that I use it if I, yeah, I am going to have to slide that over just a hair. I find that I use my paper if I've actually chopped it. If I don't chop it, then I have a tendency to look at the big, beautiful sheets and not want to chop it. So what I found is if I chop one sheet, there we go. If I chop one sheet but not the other sheet, then I'm okay. I think for this one, instead of going this direction, I'm going to go this direction and have my circle here. So this is where I left out the piece of Whisper White. So let me grab a scrap and cut a 1-inch piece. Again, I probably cleaned it up on myself. So this is the new trimmer. If you don't have one, they are fabulous. I've had this since it very first came out, and I just changed the blade. So you have a light blade for scoring and then a dark blade for cutting. All right, so I'm going to do that and slide my scrap back under in case I need it again. And then I'm not really sure how long I made that piece, but we're going to do some quick stamping and then we'll make a decision on cutting that down. So I'm going to grab this sentiment. You can do this. And I'm going to use my grid paper to make sure that it's straight, or as straight as you can get it. Slide that on there. Grab Memento ink. I'm going to stamp kind of down towards this end Just a little bit. It's a little bit crooked, but I'm going to be okay with that. And I'm going to clean my stamp super, super quick. That's a me thing. I just can't put my stamps up dirty. I know some people do, and God bless their soul, I wish I could. So then I'm going to use Smoky Slate, and I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz to add just a little bit of interest here. So I'm going to take this big image here and grab a bigger block. Go ahead and attach it to it. Pop open this ink. So one thing I've noticed when I'm doing these is the areas that are going to stamp lighter. So like on this stamp here on the outside of the leaves, when I look at my stamp, I can't quite tell. Now, I know Pear Pizzazz, and Pear Pizzazz to me can be a little bit dark. So I'm going to stamp it off one time, and then I'm going to stamp it across where I want it to be on my tag. And it still feels really dark, but it will lighten, I promise. Now let's get this out of the way so that I don't put my fingers in it. And then I'm going to clean up my stamp. And I just keep the chamois moist inside a thin stamp case. And I just added a label to it so I knew what it was. Alrighty, so there's that. And I also, in my sample, added some of these dots. So you can either take a marker and flick, which works beautifully, or here's the marker flick for you. I don't like messing up my marker pens that way. I feel like that when you flick, it can damage your pens. And coming from a place where I'm very budget conscious because of being a school teacher and being in charge of a small budget, that I don't like to damage things and have to reorder them or have two sets. That to me feels a little wasteful. So I was so excited to see this stamp because it looks like I took and flicked the marker. Now, I am not judging at all. If you are a marker flicker friend, embrace your flickerness. But I'm not. So that's how I handle that. Now, I'm going to show you a trick. Figured this out after I did the whole too much, not enough, whatever. So we're going to slide this in here. And I'm going to press down, and I'm going to take a block. And I'm going to try to get my weight over it. Okay. And there's just the slightest little bit of texture that I added to that. I know you can hardly see it, and that's perfect because that's what I wanted. And then I'm going to grab the banner punch, which is this one. And I may have to snip just a hair of this off because it may be too long. It is too long. And I'm going to slide my piece in and punch. And then there's my label. And then the last thing that's left to do is build the card. So I like to use the Thick Whisper White as my card base. I just feel like it's sturdier. I don't know, it has a better texture to it. So I'm going to add this front panel. Again, if you're just tuning in, I am sharing some of the brand new things in the Stampin' Up! Catalog that'll be available in June. They're available right now to demonstrators. So if you're not a demonstrator and you want to be, I'd love to have you as part of my team. and we can get you all signed up, because these items, all of these brand new things, are available right now to demonstrators as they sign up. They're part of the starter kit. So that could be really fun to get some of the new things as part of your starting kit. Now, let's see. Oh, I cut this piece apart. So I don't know if you can see here. He's not this same big die. I actually cut it apart. That's something that, don't be afraid to snip and cut and make things work. So I cut down these little leaves here to break the bottom pieces apart. And then I snipped in the middle. So now I have 3 pieces. I'm going to layer them on the back of this piece, and then the 2 pieces will layer together on this circle. So run a little adhesive, and then it's just kind of a game of playing and seeing where you like things. I know this edge is going to go up against the edge of my card, so I don't want anything to hang out too far. I may even snip those 2 apart. So I'm placing them one at a time. And then let's put this one maybe going like that. And then maybe this little guy like that. Maybe you need to add a little more adhesive there. I really like when I build an element like this to think about the weight of it. Do I want it the same on the top and bottom? Do I want the bottom heavier and fuller than the top? And that's typically what I do, is one side will feel heavier, fuller. Oh, I have to add that in a minute. Than the other side. So I'm going to add this little circle in the middle here. And there he is. And I'm going to find my dimensionals and go ahead and pop those on the back of here, because we're going to pop this up. Now this card doesn't have any jewels on it, and I debated if I should put some sequins or some jewels. I tend to put something a little bit glitzy on my cards, but the more I looked at this, the more I thought this card doesn't need that. This card could be a manly card, or it could be for someone that's, you know, just not super fussy. And I mean, not to say that they're girly, not girly, but just they're not extra fussy. All right, so I'm not going to line it all the way up to the edge of the white. I'm going to line it up to the edge of the black. Go ahead and pop that down. And I noticed that this one's overhanging, so you know what the easiest answer is? We're just going to snip him off right here. And so we loved you. Thank you for your service. Goodbye. All righty, so there that is. And then I'm going to take this bow that I tied earlier in this luscious ribbon. Give it some feet. And add a glue dot. Let's see. And we're going to add this just right here to the bottom. And there you have it. 2 versions of the same card. So thank you for joining me. If you're new to the channel, which you all should be because this is the very first video, please hit like and subscribe. Give thumbs up if you like it. If you're seeing this on our Facebook group, I have started a YouTube channel. This will also be linked up on the blog. So if you're seeing it on the blog, there's a Facebook group and there is a YouTube channel now. That's kind of been my big COVID-19 work at home cation. I don't know what you're going to call this huge mess, but was to finally get on YouTube. And I have done that. And this is the first video. So thank you for joining me. See you next time.